Buenas tardes, familia sindicalista. Good afternoon, union family. Wow, it's impressive to see so many of us here together and feel so powerful too. It's a moment to celebrate. It's a moment to honor the human rights, which sometimes it's badly wounded. Today is celebration time, and I hope next year a lot of you applied for it. The Education Minnesota Human Rights Award was created to recognize members who protect and advance the human and civil rights of educators and students. We know that Minnesota is blessed with many outstanding educators who make a difference every day, not only in their school, but in our communities. They often make a long life-changing impact on our students. This year, Education Minnesota Human Rights Award recipient has shown exceptional grace and courage in working to guarantee a safe and equitable learning environment for all students in his community. Jim Parry, the REACH program coordinator at Stewartville Middle School and High School in Stewartville, Minnesota. He grew up in Stewartville, and now he is raising his family there. REACH stands for Relationships, Education, Accountability, Character, and Hard Work. The mission of REACH program is to make meaningful connections with students who need support. The aim is to educate the whole student and to help them become the best person they can be. The personal and emotional needs of students are met first so they can find the academic success they are looking for. The majority of REACH students have at least a score of 1 on the ACE scale. Many have 4 or more. Jim spent time conferencing with students about school and life. He doesn't judge students for their struggles and mistakes. He lets students see their struggles as learning opportunities. Jim knows there's a lot of work to do, but the program is succeeding with students all over the community. Attendance is greatly improved, behavior referrals are down, and grades are going up. Most important, the students are learning to become the best version of themselves. Now, we have a short video that shows you a little more about Jim, his classroom, and his work.
REACH stands for Relationships, Education, Accountability, Character, and Hard Work. And our aim is to connect with students who have any struggle in their life that they want to overcome. Academic struggles are only one part of student life. They're with me for 48 minutes. A typical day, a student would come in just like any class that they walk into, but they're not here for just math or science or history or English. They're here for a character lesson at the beginning of class, and then they're given academic support after that.
Like he has like assessments or something like that, and like we watch videos on like how to be kind and like how to do the right thing.
The REACH program helps us like figure out who we are. It teaches us who we are.
I would say that people just think it's like a study hall, but it really isn't. Like you learn more than like you would in like regular classes. You learn a lot in this class, like respect, kind, and how to treat your peers. I think it would be better if like this was like almost a required class.
The things that they learn from Jim through the REACH program definitely helps them to be better learners, in particular in math, because then they are more comfortable asking those questions and getting the help they need.
If we can find a student who's struggling and help them find success in one area of their life, that success tends to spread.
Jim has done a lot of work addressing ACEs, so adverse childhood experiences, acknowledging those, and then acknowledging how that not only affects their education, but affects their day-to-day lives as well. So.
You know, sometimes it's really hard to put into words how important he is to the community of Stuartville, to the school district, to the kids.
Kids will ask, can I go to Reach? You know, if they're having a bad day or whatever, and I know because I've talked to Jim, you know, in the past, and they're always welcome here. And sometimes they just need a place to chill out and calm down, or an adult who cares to talk to a little bit if they're having a bad day. And they always come back the next day in a little bit better place.
He provides students with everything that they need. I didn't have all my essentials when I first came here, and Mr. Parry and Mr. Lorenz helped me out with that and got me all my books I needed and all my pencils and supplies. They really go that extra mile to make their students feel welcomed and wanted here.
For me to be able to see students figure out their barriers and their setbacks and learn how to accept the things that they can't control and focus their time and energy on the things that they can is rewarding for me every day. I always say I feel like I learn at least as much from my students as they learn from me.
Please join me in welcoming our Human Rights Award recipient for 2019, Jim Parry.
First off, let me say that I am overwhelmed by the great video and the visitors that we had last week to take care of that. I'm humbled. There's so many others that have come before me and out here that do such amazing things for their students that I draw inspiration on every day. I'd like to say thank you to my family, to my wife who's here, all three of our children, Jack, Jordan, and Abby, to my friends, to my colleagues for the nomination, to my students, and anyone else who has supported me in my work with REACH for the encouragement and the inspiration that I need to keep moving forward. But I also want to take time to thank those who have not supported me, because it's those people who have made my resolve even stronger through all of this. My story is one of growing up with trauma in my family. I'm blessed to be able to teach where I grew up. We had a lot of trauma in our household growing up. And through all that trauma, my mom had only one rule: be kind to everyone, always. I try to live by that lesson every day through REACH. We've changed a lot of lives over the last 5 years, and there have been many struggles, but I just found out that last week we will be expanding REACH in Stewartville over the coming year to serve even more students. There are so many outside factors that impact our students on a daily basis. Trauma is just one of them. So here's the harsh reality of ACEs. The child who enters kindergarten with an ACEs score of 3 or 4 will likely have that score double by the time they graduate from high school. For far too many students, adverse childhood experiences are life experiences. These life experiences affect everything from mental and physical health to relationships and academics. Our students can't simply be fixed with a temporary response. As teachers, we must understand that our students are a product of all of their experiences, both good and bad. We must not let their ACEs define them. It's our responsibility to help them find their own strength, meaning, and purpose despite these obstacles, so they can grow up to be happy, healthy, and productive adults. This is how the cycle gets broken, and we are an important part of this process. While adopting a growth mindset is an important goal for all of our students, this can be especially difficult for our students who have experienced trauma in a lifetime of events that in many cases are out of their control. Teaching these students is not just an academic exercise. It means rewiring the brain that has firmly been set in a fixed mindset. This simply can't be done in just one lesson, unit, semester, or school year. It took much longer for this mindset to be rooted in their personality. It will take much time and patience for it to be unlearned. This means taking the time to listen to our students' stories and learn about their struggles. We must be active participants in these conversations and relationships by being curious and taking a genuine interest in learning more about these amazing human beings. Learning their stories after the fact is just too late, leaving us wondering what we could have done differently to help. Students living with ACEs sometimes become very good at not feeling because too often experiencing emotion just leads to disappointment. If you want to help that student move forward from a feeling of hopelessness to one of hope, you have to understand that relational health is the single best predictor of positive outcomes. This means that we must be willing to be vulnerable as well and experience emotions with them. We must offer unconditional love and non-judgmental support. This isn't easy. It takes time, and it takes patience. One must have faith in the process. This process can't be measured with traditional data, but it is the single most important thing that we do. The way a student who's experienced trauma values school is based on how the adults in that school value him or her. If the adults only value that student based on his or her grades, GPA, and test scores, that student won't find much value in school. On the other hand, if the adults find value in that student as an individual with their own story to tell, find value in establishing a positive relationship, no matter how difficult that might be to do, that student will find value in those relationships in school that will last a lifetime. To me, this award is really about the power of reach and how it supports human rights for all students. Every child deserves unconditional love and non-judgmental support, no matter their grades, behavior, family history, or life struggles. I am blessed to work with such an amazing group of young human beings. They're all great kids. Some just don't know it yet. Thank you.